Good morning, Tehmina Khan is here in TK Maths is Fun. In this video, I will go through the linear law notes and guidelines. Linear law is a topic of additional mathematics O level. In this video, I have just put down the points you must revise before appearing for the exam. So the pace of the video will be a little fast. I'm not giving explanation here. However, if you want to go through the explanation, you need to go to the description. I am putting all the links of the detailed video over there. So you can see the videos by clicking on the link given in the description. So let's start with linear law. What you need to know in it. Number one, you should have an idea what is the concept of line of best fit. What is the equation of linear law? What is the meaning of capital Y and capital X? What does it represent? And here I have not only jotted down the concepts you need to know, I have taken one or two examples as well so that you can relate your learning immediately here rather than referring the other book, right? So I have taken one or two examples so that you can immediately understand what I'm talking about, but I will not explain it to you, right? So you can put the video on pause and you can try understanding it. For your understanding, I have put the detailed video in the description. Okay, so basically in linear law, according to the CIE syllabus, you need to know three things. Number one, because if you will see the syllabus, there is only one line, and that is also in the topic of a straight line. So the concepts you need to know are how to express non-linear relation into linear relation. I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 example for that. And then example 5, 6, 7, if graph is given to you of non-linear, then how you will form an equation from it. And then last example 8, when you have to sketch the graph, linear log graph on the graph paper. So here the graph paper you don't need, graph is given to you. Here graph you have to plot, so you need a graph paper. And here simple equation is given, you have to change it. For example, I have taken 2 examples here also. Now this is extremely important because you see that type. This is exponential type, this is different type. So if you will be or you are a master of converting all this, because that is required in the other 2 parts, this part. So this is a basic concept. So line of best fit, you know, and how to draw it. Most of the points should be on the line. And when you are applying or learning linear law chapters, you must recall all these basic laws of exponential and logarithmic function because they are applied in certain questions. So here, for example, this nonlinear equation is given to you and you have to convert it into linear form because this is one concept. So I've taken an example here for you. At any point, if you think I'm scrolling it fast, I'm going through fast, so you can pause the video on pause. You can put the video on pause, sorry. And 2 or 3 methods I have described here. There is no fixed at times linear law in one question. There may be another form also, right? So it is not unique in some cases. So I have taken an example of a question where the questions are saying what do the x and y axis represent? And what will the gradient of the graph? So when you will rearrange it in a particular form, you will be able to do it. So you can see it here. So it's a very basic thing and how you are describing. So it's not only about knowing the question how to apply, but should be able to interpret it, because you know interpretation of the question explains well that how much you understood the concept. Now this is exponential type. Like I said, I have taken 3 examples. We are converting it into linear form. The main purpose is to bring equation into this particular form, which has variable, only concept, constant, sorry, and constant and variable. because the main trick in it, the type of equations given to you, how to change them into linear form, that is the whole technique behind it. So for your reference, I have taken 2-3 types. You can see that this equation has become this. And then you can interpret what is the meaning of each. Like in the last line it is done. There are questions where they ask for interpretation. Now I have taken an example where graph is given to you and you have to express y in terms of x, or you have to find out the value of unknown, or you have to find one value of variable where other is given to you. The important thing here is you see x, y is here on the y-axis and here x. So that's why it is saying the graph of x, y against x is drawn. So you should understand that this is your x, but this is not your y. This is your xy. This is the main thing. So how to handle these type of question? I have the solution here. Like I said, I'm not giving explanation here, but for explanation, you can check the description. The video I have made to describe all this concept is very much in detail, and students usually like it a lot. And that video is also on a very slow pace. Here I'm just going through that these things you should know. And for reference, I have put up one example. Otherwise, you can do it on your own also. The purpose of this guideline is to help students recalling what they should know in a particular chapter, each and everything. And this part 2 is like a very important question. Being a teacher, I have observed mostly students mess up in this concept. So I'm just pausing it here and then you can relate it, okay, how we have to do it, right? So 2 more examples I've taken with the same graph. Here it is y is plotted against x square. Here xy plotted against x. Good thing is here you know the y-intercept, here you don't. You have to find out xy-intercept. So how do you do it? You find out gradient and put in the point to get it. Same thing. Here you don't need to because this is already given to you. And I have taken totally different examples in my videos which I have described, and so these examples and those examples are different, so it will be more solved examples for you. Like, you know, when we have more examples, we learn better, we go through different types. And in this case, LGY is plotted against x. An equation is given in this form. So important question, again, how to do it. See, this is the first thing we did in the guideline, that how to change any non-linear equation into linear form, right? So then only you can connect it with the graph and get the answers of the rest of the thing. And the last concept of the linear law, when you have to draw the graph. So the experimental values are given to you for x and y, and you always have to make a new table on which you will plot. You do not plot on these values, remember, because in my experience, I have gone through that the student actually plotted this value. This is not a linear values. These are experimental values of non-linear graph. So what you will plot it against, that is important. Is it given here? No, it is saying by plotting a suitable straight line graph. Now, when they do not give you any hint, then it is little challenging. So you have to change this equation into linear form, and then you see what do you get here, what do you get here, and then you make your table, right? Once again, for explanation, you can refer the video in the description. So the new table is made here, and based on this table, the graph is plotted here. And mostly the next part in the question is related to graph. Let me see here. Like you see, it is saying here, use your graph to estimate the value. Otherwise, the student start plugging in value from here into this equation, solve simultaneously and get the value of k and n, and they get 0 marks. So when question is saying use your graph, you will not solve simultaneously by applying the values from here. Simultaneous concept may still be applied, but not by using points from here, right? So now using this graph, the answers have been given here. So with this, I end this video, and thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have learned something from it. Please share it with your friends if you found it useful, and do like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.